Hello traders, welcome to another daily analysis. Today is November 2nd, Wednesday. So there's really nothing much going on in the financial market. Right now, we are still in this huge sentiment from the US election. And the global market has been very negative due to the uncertainty for the future. Now, as you can tell, the equity market is all down and the US dollar has been largely sold off. And also the bond is being largely bought. And I look at all the safe haven currencies, Swiss franc, Japanese yen, and European dollar are all largely bought at this moment. So right now, it's really a moment of uncertainty and will most likely to continue until the end of election. Now, at this moment, most data are highly disregarded, so they're not important anymore. You might have some short-term volatility or momentum when the data release if you have deviations. However, it's never gonna be last too long. So right now, of course, we're still gonna go over the data we have today. We have a lot of PMI data coming from European session. But again, the euro has been positive due to the weakness of dollar. So there's really nothing to do with their fundamental data. Construction PMI from British pound also came out as positive. But again, British pound was largely bought due to the weakness of US dollar. So that's really the same story applied to all the currency pair. FOMC, we have a federal fund rate today. It was actually expected unchanged. However, the statement was actually very neutral to a little bit hawkish from my personal point of view. Still hinting the possibility of December rate hike. Actually, I think, according to fundamental data, they should have the rate hike this time. But of course, they don't want to do any stupid things prior to the election, especially right now, it's already uncertain enough. So, people at the FOMC committee are all smart people. Nobody want to cause the economy to go down right now in US. So they are going to vote hold it, which was expected, and that was the result. WTI market, oil market closed down again. First of all, of course, because the election uncertainty, but also because the crude oil inventory was biggest weekly rise since 1982. We have a almost 14 million rise, and the prediction was also only 1 million. So that was a large positive deviations. And then, of course, this is gonna give more negative sentiment to the oil market, plus the OPEC failed attempt to reach agreement. And other than that, really nothing much going on in the financial market. Tomorrow also we do have the Bank of England, but really the rate is expected to on hold because I don't think any central bank, if they're smart enough, they don't want to do anything prior to the US election. That's just a very suicide move. So right now, I think tomorrow is also going to be on hold. However, the statement might be more dovish, which not going to be surprised since they are still having this fundamental uncertainty ahead of the UK Article 50. However, right now, again, like I said, nobody wants to do anything prior to the US election. No central bank, if they're smart enough, will do that. But let's still take a look at the at what's gonna happen. Just give me a second. So tomorrow, Thursday, first thing first, you have a BOJ press conferences. Okay, this is not gonna be a big event because no matter what they're gonna do, even if they talk down their currency, which they probably want to do that, since now they will be largely bought again due to the safe haven currency status, but it's not gonna affect the whole global market. Manufacturing. Oh, sorry, that was Tuesday. I'm sorry about it. Thursday right here. Okay, so we have a service PMI. It's gonna be a good tradable event for me. I will definitely trade this one. However, like I say, at this point, really looking to usually if it's a negative data, we'll go short cable. But at this point, I'm really looking to either short pound Aussie or pound Newsy if it's a negative data. Now, if it's a positive data, then maybe I will actually buy cable or buy pound CAD. Okay, I will actually buy pound CAD just because oil market is negative. But again, it doesn't matter what happens, it's all going to be intraday only. I don't want to hold anything prior to the election, unless it's bearish toward something that has more certainty. So, you don't want to sell US dollar because you don't know which direction it's going to go. So if you want to go with the sentiment, you can actually buy Japanese yen, buy Swiss franc, and that's really the two things you can buy. But Swiss franc has a lot of intervention, uncertainty, and non-transparent move from the central bank. So maybe really the best choice is to buy Japanese yen against US dollar. But then you don't want to short US dollar. So you can buy Japanese yen against Canadian dollar because oil market is looking quite negative. Other than that, I don't know, maybe CAD yen will be a good call. Other than that, pound yen will also be a good call. Dollar yen, of course, it's going to be a good call, but we don't know what's going to happen in the US dollar. Right now, it's going down, but right after the election, it might go up. So again, just play safely. That's just what I'm trying to say. Play safely. So I'm going to trade the service PMI. I'm going to sell British pound, of course, and on negative deviation, I'm going to buy Australian dollar or New Zealand dollar. And if it's a positive deviation, I am actually going to either short US dollar and buy British pound, or I am going to short Canadian dollar and buy British pound. But also, it's because it's intraday, so it's really dependent on where are we prior to the release. At levels, right? So I'm only gonna go with something that I have more room to go and have limited risk. And of course, at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you have the Bank of England, the official bank rate, monetary policy statement, and the inflation report. And that's why if you trade in service PMI, definitely try to get out before this. And are you able to gonna trade it? Yeah, you can trade it, but again, if you want to trade this kind of policy summary, it's really subjective to interpretations. And I switch it right now. It's really it's just hard to trade in this kind of global market because such a huge uncertainty. And of course, Carney is gonna speak. That might be better to trade. Last time I traded Carney's speech was a more easy direction because if you trade when the central bank actually have a press conference, then you can really grasp the emotional tone or tonality from their voice, then you to know if it's more positive or negative. That will actually be easier than reading the text of this policy summary. And of course, you have unemployment claim from US. It's not important at all at this moment, especially. Non-manufacturing PMI also is not important because everything surrounding US dollar is really going to be a sentiment play. And later in Asian session, you have monetary policy statement. This might provide some insight if you are in Australian dollar. And of course, another Canadian government Polos speaks, which I don't know why there's so many speeches from him this week. It's a bit weird. Friday, non-farm payroll, usually it's a big event, but right now, with all the negative sentiment, really, you have a better odds to look into short US dollar. But then again, things might change tomorrow. Right now, the political situation is really uncertain, so we don't know what's going to happen, and we have to wait and see. Let's take a look at our chart. And of course, even if we have any signal right now, I'm really not looking forward to enter any major pairs, unless it's something that is not a major cross. So I'm going to avoid US dollar, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. But let's take a look at your dollar first. So Euro pound, again, you can tell you have a very neutral ranging market. Euro Swiss franc continue to Swiss franc continue to dominate the market due to their safe haven status. Euro dollar continue to go up, but just watch out. You have a strong 200-day moving average support, and also this move is a pure sentiment play, and it can change tomorrow or next day. Euro Aussie, same story. Euro has been bought due to the safe haven status, but not as strong as Swiss franc. Let's see if they are strong versus Japanese yen. They're actually neutral status, but still Japanese yen is stronger than Euro dollar. So if we want to rank it, it's really Swiss franc, Japanese yen, and Euro dollar. Now Euro New Zealand was a large sell-off. It's actually due to the New Zealand dollar strength. Again, it's all not a good day play, just because New Zealand dollar, although it's good, have quite good data came out previously, but the interest rate decision is also coming out in November, and the fundamental future for New Zealand dollar it's quite dovish. So all this play, because it's a daily play, so you don't really have, like, for me personally, I don't really have a long-term conviction for all this play. So I'm not gonna do this, even though it's a largest red candle. I'm not gonna do anything about it. Also because it's not in a good position. You have this support here, this support here. But nevertheless, just give you a heads up saying that it's not a really good time to hold any currency. It really, you have a better chance to get into a trade intraday and maybe get out intraday, or at least say to break even. I only say in the trade you have really absolutely high conviction. Right now, I don't really have any conviction for anything in the fundamental sense. Just go over British pound right now. Nothing really. It's just a range bomb in overall in general. And Swiss franc, Japanese yen. You can tell that Japanese yen is actually won the battle today against Swiss franc. So right now it has claimed the #1 safe haven status again, and that will be the currency that the money got into actually. And dollar Swiss, as mentioned, like if this thing keep dropping, then after election you can expecting to see a reversal if Hillary Clinton win. But even if Donald Trump wins, you're still gonna see a reversal because people are actually pricing in for the negativity already. People are selling US dollar as if Donald Trump already win the election. So if he wins, we're gonna see a reversal. If he doesn't win, we're still gonna see a reversal. Okay, that's just the nature of a price action. Take a look at dollar CAD. Again, we have a neutral stance right now because you have two negative sentiment into US dollar and Canadian dollar due to the oil market. Dollar yen, again, it's gonna keep dropping most likely. We have this not really a bearish big shadow or engulfing candle, but it's actually not bad consider the current sentiment of negative US dollar. But of course, I didn't get in. I don't even know why. But now looking at it, maybe it's not a bad trade if you draw this line. It's already break this short-term trend line, and now we break down here. Now it looks like we're gonna continue to drop. So this actually might be a good trade, to be honest with you, just because the current negative sentiment is really expected to continue, especially prior to the election next week. Right at the voting or the opening the ballot, it's really gonna provide a more volatility. So it might give us some opportunity to short the pair. You could just put a stop loss ahead prior to this one. So it might be a good, short-term position to enter. I definitely, it does grab my attention actually. I don't know why I didn't pay attention to this one last night. But actually it's not a bad trade to get into it, dollar yen, because it's still Wednesday. So let's take a look at FOMC meeting expectation again. Then maybe we'll know what's the prediction for the non-farm payroll. So non-farm payroll is expecting to be positive, and average earning is also expected to be positive. Unemployment rate is also expected to be. So we have a positive expectation for non-farm payroll. Now, so give and take. Now I don't know, but again, how much is that gonna play into the economy and the sentiment? So I don't know. I do think that right now the election is really a huge dominant factor. So buying Japanese yen directly against US dollar might be a good call. But I'll do more analysis later on. But just to let you know that this is actually not a bad trade on my radar. Aussie Swiss is actually not bad either, because you have this a reversal signal versus Swiss franc. So this one might have a reversal going up if first of all, you have two factors that can be a beneficiary to your trade. First is that if the sentiment change, then Swiss franc will not be bought again. Second is that if they intervene, because if you look at it, Swiss franc has been largely overvalued according to the central bank. So Aussie Swiss might be a good trade. But if I remember correctly, we do have the monetary statement. I think it's coming out. Rate is that Thursday. So yeah, actually tomorrow night you have a monetary policy statement coming out. So when the RBA rate statement, and this is a monetary policy statement, so it's quite a little bit different, but still it's going to provide some volatility. But again, since we don't really hear any negative dovish statement from Australian dollar, so this might be quite a neutral event. So this again it looks interesting to me, just because those two things. Aussie CAD, okay, nothing happened here. Aussie Newsy largely sold off due to the New Zealand dollar. It just largely being bought off, and really, I don't really have any reason for this, to be honest with you. Other than that, maybe we have a negative Chinese data. Do we have a negative Chinese data? Okay, let's take a look at that. So today, Wednesday, okay, we have a negative building approval last night. Very negative, actually. That's why Australian dollar is being sold off. And then you have a neutral inflation expectation from New Zealand dollar, a very positive GDP price. So that's why, if all things are equal, both have high yield currency, but that's why you have a huge drop from the Australian dollar only against New Zealand dollar. Because if you look at Australian dollar against any other currency other than the safe haven currency, against US dollar, it's still not bad. Against Canadian dollar, it's still a green candle. So it's quite a neutral stand. It's just relative strength versus weakness. So this one I do think, but again, I'm gonna do further analysis later on just to see. Take a look at Swiss franc, because another huge drop due to the weakness of the oil market itself. Another drop from Kayang as usual. New Zealand Swiss franc. So look at New Zealand dollar is actually very strong at this moment, and also people might want to flow into New Zealand dollar because they really have a good fundamental data, and if all things are equal, they are actually a good place to put your money in, really, because they're safe all the way in this South Hemisphere, all the way outside the US turmoil, outside the European turmoil. So they are actually a good pair to loan compared to other, currency pairs. So I would say that at this moment they have somehow become one of the safe haven currency, maybe the strongest one. Look at how strong they are against Japanese yen. So they probably become the strongest safe haven currency in terms of this current sentiment play. Again, this is a good breakout signal versus Japanese yen. New Zealand CAD, it's not a good breakout signal. It's just too high for me. There's no upside. But again, New Zealand CAD might not be bad just because the oil market and the Canadian dollar is in a weak position. But I'm not a breakout trader, so for me, it's not something I'm interested to go, because again, I don't have an upside. I don't know where I'm going. Now, New Zealand, on the other hand, it's not bad. It's a huge engulfing bullish candle, but again, not something I would like to grab it, because I really like to do a reversal one and instead of a breakout one. So that's it really on my radar. Dollar yen is a good one to short. Play with the sentiment directly. The risk is the non-farm payroll if it come out to be very positive. The second risk is the political situation. If we have a good positive news for Hillary Clinton, then the sentiment is going to become good, and then dollar yen is going to go up again. Another one on my radar is the Aussie Swiss, because two-factor Swiss franc has been largely bought due to the sentiment. So if sentiment shift, they are going to be sold off. That's the first thing. Second thing is that their central bank is not going to let the currency to be this overvalued, so they might intervene time to time. And also, this is a good place for a reversal trade. Australian dollar is still very strong, so all this reason, that's why it might be a good trade to get into it. But we will see. I'm gonna do further analysis later on. Other than that, trade safe, and I will come back tomorrow to do another daily analysis. And that's it. Hope you stay tuned with the financial market. Right now, it's really a news-driven market. Bye bye.